Well, good morning. I thought, if I'm ever gonna self-actualize or do whatever I came here to do, I actually have to do the things that I know how to do to get me where I'm going, if that makes any sense. I've let go of a lot of ideas or belief systems that I had that were a motivating factor for why I was doing what I was doing. And I think as I come and circle back to the things that it is that I want to be moving towards, I realize it's a part of me utilizing my gifts, documenting my process and putting it out there for the world to see. It's just something that I've always known that I was supposed to do, and there's been so much inner dialogue, whether it's projections or whatever. It's just like, who are you? No one cares. I'm like, well, that's exactly what I'm gonna do it. Because I'm doing it for me, I'm doing it because there's that spark to do it. And maybe eventually it will lead somewhere. It'll connect me to the next thing. It will provide income for me one day, because I realize when I take an honest look at myself, I don't want to have a regular job. And I've looked deep inside about that, and I think it has something to do with being free and having flexibility. And my body doesn't agree with this rigidity of doing the same things over and over again without any room for flexibility. So I think that people are having quite the time driving this morning. It is the first work day with this daylight savings. So anyways, right now I am in this process of just letting more things go, because I have been having the same trauma or wound come up around place and abandonment and fearing, where am I going to live, having poverty consciousness come back up again, and not trying to, I think because I've discerned between truth and falsehood within myself, I don't want to compromise and go back into patterns that continue to choose falsehood. And in the Ascended Master teachings, they call it the vibration of the psychic. The psychic meaning something that's not of the ascended realm, or the vibration of the flow between you and God, because there's things that pull you out of that flow, and there's habit patterns that are attached to those things. And for me, I had a quarrel with my son's father a few days ago, and I remember it was because I leaned into that vibration of this habit pattern of codependency. It was like a pull, a habit, and I wonder what would have happened if I made a different choice. But it was like a compulsion. But there was that moment beforehand of I know I'm doing this. I know this is what I'm doing, before I did it, before I made that choice. And everything that followed after that was a co-created catastrophe. And so I am feeling a lot of feelings about it, not just that with that particular instance, but this whole venture and what it brings up in me. You know, the last time I went to Hawaii, there was a lot of experiences that I had that I think are coming up to trigger me, and all the good, bad, and the ugly, and I am feeling that vulnerability creep up, and I don't it's like I know everything that I don't want, and that seems to be, for the most part, all that I was seeing in my mind is everything that I didn't want my experience to be. And then that started to wane and not be so vivid, and then I started to see like possible outcomes. Because I'll just say, if you're thinking that there's only one way or a couple of ways things can go, you're probably in a separate self, because the possibilities of life and how you can experience it and how things can go are really limitless. And so it's really important to consider that you don't really have everything figured out the way that you thought, based off of your past experiences. So I just wanted to be the voice of reason and remind you that there's so many ways that things can go. And here's the dog that I'm dog sitting. Her name is Abby. And yeah, talk to you soon.